At the age of 70, Reuben took his ailing grandson out of the house in an attempt to soothe his distress. During this outing, an unexpected encounter with a street Bernard would go on to transform his life in unforeseen ways. Reuben gazed down at the stains on the hardwood floor beneath the refrigerator, no longer able to ignore the persistent leak. Concerned for his grandson's safety as he was growing more mobile each day, Reuben knew he had to address the issue promptly. As Reuben contemplated this household dilemma, a wave of despair overtook him. Recent financial setbacks had left him struggling to make ends meet despite his successful career as a lawyer in his prime. Tears welled up as he realized he lacked the resources to cover the necessary repairs. Reuben's golden years seemed fraught with uncertainty. His eldest son, Jonathan, had abandoned the family following the death of Reuben's wife, Iris. A year later, Reuben's daughter, Sarah, was diagnosed with cancer, and her husband deserted her in her time of need. Weeks after her husband's departure, Sarah discovered she was pregnant and sought refuge with her father. Reuben dedicated himself to caring for Sarah throughout her pregnancy and depleted his savings to cover her medical expenses. Tragically, Sarah succumbed to cancer just a few months after giving birth to Ronnie. Ronnie became Reuben's sole reason to persevere, his beacon of hope. However, the challenges they faced were daunting. Ronnie suffered from epilepsy and required constant supervision. His epileptic episodes had become increasingly severe, causing him great distress and frequent bouts of crying. Before Reuben could dry his own tears, Ronnie awoke again, crying inconsolably. In an attempt to provide comfort, Reuben decided to take him outside, thinking a change of environment might help alleviate his distress. Ronnie briefly distracted himself by observing the trees, the sky, and the birds, but it didn't seem to calm him. Reuben found himself running out of ideas, feeling helpless in the face of his grandson's anguish. Suddenly, a large furry street Bernard approached them, triggering a mix of fear and hope within Reuben. He worried the dog might frighten Ronnie or, worse, accidentally harm him. However, noticing a collar around the dog's neck provided some reassurance. Despite his initial concerns, Reuben attempted to keep the dog at a distance from Ronnie and scanned the surroundings for the dog's owners, finding no one in sight. The dog persistently sought Ronnie's attention, causing Reuben's anxiety to mount. Then, to Reuben's astonishment, Ronnie ceased crying. Lowering his gaze, Reuben saw the dog tenderly licking Ronnie's hand. Ronnie's face lit up with excitement at the canine's friendly gesture. Reuben was pleasantly surprised by the unexpected turn of events. He waited a while longer, hoping to spot the dog's owners, suspecting that the dog may have been abandoned as well. Ultimately, he made the decision to bring the dog, whom they later named Jimmy, back home. Back at their residence, Ronnie underwent a remarkable transformation. He and Jimmy bonded instantly, spending the day playing together. Reuben discovered a rolled-up note attached to Jimmy's collar, which he eagerly unrolled and read. "Whoever is reading this, please take care of my Jimmy. I'm Melissa Underwood. I lived at 53 Winston Street before I was forced to stay in the nursing home downtown. Jimmy was my only friend and he is a godsend. I hope you can give my Jimmy a home. Thanks." Reuben was deeply moved by the note and felt compelled to learn more about Melissa's story. He embarked on a journey to the nursing home, accompanied by Ronnie and Jimmy. Melissa's joy upon reuniting with Jimmy was palpable. She expressed her gratitude to Reuben for looking after him. Reuben, in turn, shared how Jimmy had brought newfound happiness into their lives. However, Reuben was eager to hear Melissa's own story. Melissa recounted losing her son a year ago, who had long been estranged from his wife. Unbeknownst to her, her daughter-in-law had recently returned and sold their family home without her knowledge, subsequently placing Melissa in a nursing home against her will. Reuben was incensed by the injustice. He understood the pain of abandonment and, as a former lawyer, recognized the legal avenues available to help Melissa. He resolved to assist her in suing her daughter-in-law and offered her the option of living with him rather than in the nursing home. The legal battle stretched on for months, but the effort was worthwhile. During the trial, it was revealed that Melissa's daughter-in-law had engaged in an affair with another man while still married. Shockingly, that man turned out to be Reuben's own estranged son, Jonathan, who had squandered his fortune due to a gambling addiction. Desperate for money, Jonathan had persuaded Melissa's daughter-in-law to sell the house. Melissa emerged victorious in the legal battle, with her daughter-in-law facing charges of forgery and fraud. Jonathan was also held accountable for his actions. Melissa regained ownership of the house and received substantial punitive damages. Reuben, Melissa, Ronnie, and Jimmy continued to live together even after the trial. They now possessed 2 homes, both free from the burden of leaking refrigerators. Most importantly, they had formed a loving and supportive family, united by their shared experiences and unwavering care for one another.